Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be showing you guys my recipe to making delicious macarons. These macarons are really easy to make and you can go really creative with these macarons once you successfully complete these basic steps, and you can make endless varieties of macarons and they are super delicious. Before we get into the video, make sure to subscribe to my channel and to like this video. First, you want to dump in 45 grams of powdered sugar. And then you want to add in 42 grams of almond flour. And then you just want to sift that all in together so that's finely grounded. And also, I will leave the recipe in the description box below. And you also want to make sure you don't sift in these little small almond pieces, because that's going to cause the surface of those macarons to be really lumpy. And now we're going to add 1 egg white into a bowl and we're going to whip it until it's really frothy. Once your egg whites are really frothy like this, then you're going to start adding your sugar in 3 parts. So first we want to add 1/3 of the sugar, and then we're going to whip that all together until it's all dissolved. And then you're going to add your second part in the mix, and then third part in the mix. Now into this we're going to add a half teaspoon of vanilla extract. And you want to continue mixing until you get stiff peaks like this. The meringue is really the most important part in making macarons, so you really want to make sure you get this right. Now you want to sift in half of the dry ingredients into the meringue. Make sure to discard these little almond pieces. Now this is another part where most people get things wrong. So now we're gonna macaronage the dry ingredients and the meringue together. Macaronaging means basically folding the batter. You don't want to mix normally, like using a spoon. You would rather fold it and not really remove too much air bubbles, but still have some air bubbles left in there so that it would be really fluffy. Now once that's all incorporated, you want to add the rest of the dry ingredients. Now we're going to repeat the step and sift in the dry ingredients into the batter. Repeating the step, we are going to macaronage again, and making sure that we fold the batter and not really mix it, and remove all the air bubbles in there that we just whipped. Now one thing that you need to remember is that you don't want to deflate too much of the air bubbles, but you don't want to mix too little. So a trick here to see if you mixed enough or if you have to mix a bit more is just picking up the batter with your spatula and just letting it fall down naturally. And if it has this ribboning effect, that means you are finished and you don't need to continue mixing. But as you can see here, it's not ribboning so nicely. So just continue mixing and then just pick up the batter one more time. Check again. If it's not having this really smooth ribboning effect, just do a quick mix one more time, and then just do the same quick trick. And then if it has this really smooth ribboning effect like this one right here, that means you are finished and you can stop mixing. And you want to make sure you want to stop mixing, because if you don't, you will over mix the batter and it will become really kind of melted, I guess, and you kind of deflate too much of the air bubbles. And now you're going to get a piping bag fitted with a round tip, and I just like to put this on a large cup and just fit it right in there so that it's easier for you to put in all that batter into your piping bag. It's now time to pipe out the batter. So I have this silicone mat here, and it has all these macaron size drawings, so that's easier for you to pipe really nicely. And you just want to pipe the batter out into the size you want them to be. You can see my hand is a bit shaking here, but that's okay. You just want your hand to be really steady and just pipe them out nicely. And you can have them really small or you can have them really big. I just have like the minimal macaron size here, and I use 1 egg white, so it makes about 5 of these macarons that I have in these sizes. If you have smaller macarons, you can make about 10 to 12 macarons. Now this is another important step. Make sure you pat down your pan so that you remove any excess air bubbles. Now you want to let these macarons sit until you can touch the surface of these macarons, which creates like a little shell on top of the macaron so that you can get those classic feet. And then you want to bake your macarons for 18 minutes in a 300 Fahrenheit preheated oven. And once they bake, they will come out something like this. Let them cool on a cooling rack. And then we're going to make the filling now. Now to make the filling, this is my favorite filling of all time. We're going to add 1 egg yolk into a small bowl, then add 15 grams of sugar into the same bowl, and you want to mix that all together. And now into this mixture, we're going to add the seeds of half a vanilla bean, and you want to whisk or mix that all together until it's all combined. Now we're going to add 20 grams of milk into a pot, and we're going to add the used vanilla bean too, and we just put that in the pot too so we can infuse all that flavor. And we're going to heat this up under low heat and just mix it up so that it will infuse the flavors, and you want to turn up the heat when the edges are starting to boil. Now you're going to pour the infused milk through a sieve into your egg mixture, and you want to put this through a sieve because you want to make sure none of the clumps go into the egg mixture, and just mix that all together. Now you want to pour in the mixture into the pot and make sure to scrape out all those vanilla bean seeds on the bottom because those are very precious. Anyways, now we're going to just thicken this mixture up under low heat, and yeah, just make sure it thickens up and that you're right beside it mixing it because it's gonna thicken up really fast. Make sure you're just mixing it right beside it. Just mix it for the whole time. And then it'll thicken up something like this. If it doesn't, well, just wait a little longer. It will. Now once it thickens up like this, we're going to put it off the heat. And we're going to put this through a sieve so that we can remove all those clumps because we really don't want any of those clumps in our fillings. It's not going to really look nice. And once you've done that, it's going to be a really small amount, but it's really all we need for this filling in it because we don't have a lot of macaron shells. So this is really all we need. And now into this small amount of thicky paste, we're going to add 50 grams of room temperature butter. Looks something like that. It was a bit too melted, but that's okay. It still works. It became really fluffy after all, so happy ending. Anyways, we're gonna just whip that all up until it becomes really fluffy. Make sure you whip it up enough or else it will still really be greasy from that butter. And I added a bit of vanilla extract because I just want more of that vanilla flavor. Whip that all really nicely. It's gonna be really creamy and fluffy. It's gonna be really delicious. Now once that cream filling is done, we're going to put this in a piping bag. I can't talk right now. Anyways, just put that in a piping bag, and boy, that looks delicious. I have a round tip, but you can use any tip you really want. It doesn't really matter. It's just however you want it to be because it's really your macarons and you're the one that's baking them, and hopefully you're the one that's eating them too. And once you've put all of that cream filling into your piping bag, we're going to start piping. This is the best part, really. And I'm having trouble taking this piping bag off this cup. But you get it out after all. Well, I did. And I'm just going to scrape all this cream onto the end of the tip so that it's easier for me to pipe, and that's all we need to do. We're ready to pipe the part we have been waiting for the whole time. And let's get started. Now it's the final part and we are finished. So we're going to pipe the filling, and you want to pipe a generous amount. Don't pipe too little, but don't pipe too much. Well, you can add as much filling as you want. It really doesn't matter, it's your choice. I just like to add just enough of the filling, and make sure you have enough for all of them. You don't want to put too much and not have enough for the other ones. So yeah, I'm just gonna pipe these all together, and now we're just gonna sandwich these with the top shell, and it will look really nice like this. I always have trouble with putting and sandwiching these two macaron shells together. I always had that little trouble with doing this part. Like, it seems like the easiest part, but it's really not. You really gotta try. It's really not the easiest part. And now we are finished. I like to just let this sit for 24 hours and then eat it the next day, because I feel like it tastes the best a few days later or just the next day. And I made more macarons the other day, and they look beautifully together. They just look so fantastic. And I had this macaron box, and it looks so cute together. And thank you for watching. Subscribe and like and comment. Thank you. Bye. Well, that was a really rushed goodbye. Anyways, I hope you liked this video. Be sure to subscribe, comment, and like this video, and I'll see you on my next one.